What's up, guys? Jake Whitaker, Bassmaster Elite Series rookie. Out in the boat right now, getting some things rigged up. Just wanted to apologize. I've been kind of slack on doing some recaps for you guys, but I'm going to give you guys a brief recap of the last 3 tournaments that we've had, starting with the Sabine River, and then we went to the Mississippi River in Wisconsin, and then just finished up the last one on Lake Oahe in South Dakota. So like I said, just going to give you guys a brief recap of each tournament. I've had a really good last 5 tournaments, you could say. Got a check in each one of the last 5, and then just kind of just kind of riding a high streak. So getting back to the Sabine River, ended up 5th place there. Just had an awesome tournament. Never really caught just a huge stringer of fish, but was really consistent, right around that 10-11 pound range, and that pushed me all the way up to 5th place. But the key there was I made a long run, ended up finding some backwater areas that had a few fish in them. I was getting probably 6 to 8 bites a day, which is not a lot, but there they were, in those backwater areas I was getting a good 2 to 3 pound bite each day, and that really what you've got to have there. So the main deal there was just a popping frog. It's just one of my favorite things to throw in the summertime. It's just one of my confidence baits. Throwing that on an ALX Icos Hammer 7.3. I don't think you guys heard me talk about this rod yet, but this is my frog rod, and I love it. Probably by far the best frog rod that I've ever owned. 7'3", heavy action, perfect amount of tip to make accurate casts, but man, it's got the backbone to really get them out. I was throwing the frog around cypress trees and cypress knees at the Sabine, and you would throw way back in those cypress knees and have a blow up, and you'd just have to set the hook and just winch them out of there. So this rod really played a key factor at Sabine. Like I said, ended up finishing 5th there. Just blessed. That was awesome, to get my first top 12 there. At such a tough fishery was really cool. So the frog was key there. Then we went to the Mississippi River, and again, frog fishing. As you guys saw, Ish won on a frog. I had never been there before, and I knew that it was going to be a frog and flipping type tournament, so I was really looking forward to it. But man, that tournament really was kind of tough on me. I ended up finishing 39th, which is good, but the first day I think I caught 8 keepers all day. Ended up with like 13.5 there the first day, and then ended up with 13 or 14 pounds every day. But the second and third day, man, I only got 5 bites, and there were several times there on day 2 and day 3 even where at 1 o'clock I was sitting on either 2 or 3 fish, and I was just really stressing at the time, just trying to get a keeper bite, and got lucky and ended up catching my limit all 3 days. But it was just very tough, but stuck it out again with a frog. There at the Mississippi, I was actually throwing a rainforest, which was a black and yellow frog. But again, ALX Icos Hammer 7.3. Going from the Sabine to the Mississippi, where the Sabine was mostly fishing around wood, to the Mississippi, where it was all grass. But I actually did end up catching some fish off of laydowns on the frog at the Mississippi, but mostly it was grass fish, duckweed, all that kind of stuff. So this rod really proved itself that it can be a all around grass frogging rod, wood frogging, whatever you need it to do, this rod is going to handle it for you. So if you guys are looking for a frog rod, the Icos Hammer 7.3 from ALX Rods, you definitely need to check it out. I think you'd be very pleased with it. So but again, frog was key at Mississippi River. So had 2 stretches, two tournaments where I could throw the frog, and had a blast doing it. And then we went to Lake Oahe, South Dakota, a brand new lake to all of us. I know maybe a few guys got to go pre-practice last year after they announced the schedule, but for the most part, it was new to everybody. But this was a smallmouth tournament, so you know, going into a new place where I've never been, but knowing it's a smallmouth, you know, lake, I just, you know, I've got a little bit of history with smallmouth, but not a lot. So I just told myself that I was going to go up there and you know, use baits that I know that usually typically work well for smallmouth, and that's exactly what I did. I just used a 1-2 approach. The first morning, or the first day of the tournament, I actually caught a limit pretty quick, just on a little swim bait, little 3.5-inch swim bait, Ico's Soul 7 spinner rod, one of my favorite spinner rods from the ALX guys. Just a small swim bait, just casting around some points up shallow. But you know, those were just small fish. So after the first day, I was in like close to 80th place, so I knew I had to make a change. But I actually didn't make a change. The first day of Oahe was just so windy that a lot of my spots that I found, I just really couldn't fish them effectively. So I went back the second day, a little less wind, I was able to fish them more effectively, and that's where the drop shot with the 4-inch stick bait came into play. You know, 8-pound leader on a Zolo Maestro, just a simple setup, drop shot. This rod was awesome playing those big smallmouth. I got 3 really big bites the second day, 1 4-5 smallmouth, and then 2 more over 3.5, 3 3/4 smallmouth. So that pushed me up, had almost 16 pounds. Like I said, man, this Zolo Maestro, awesome drop shot rod. You know, you guys check it out. It's actually a 7-foot medium light rod. That sound, you know, it sounds like, you know, you hear that medium light and it, you know, it kind of scares some people, but I promise you this rod handles those big fish so well and allows you to play them and wear them down, and you know, able to get those fish in the boat using a super small hook. So you just really had to, you know, really just play them and fight them until they just, you know, came up belly up, and you know, you could get them in the boat. So that was the deal at Oahe, just running points and stuff with a drop shot 4-inch Cinco Zolo Maestro, awesome rod, and had an awesome event there, finished up 23rd. So all in all, it's been, you know, a great few tournaments, and I'm looking forward to the next few we've got. Appreciate you guys following along. I'm gonna do better on my recap videos, so thank you guys for watching, and we're gonna try to finish the season strong.